a video for the force feedback of DiRT Rally 1 for the FANATEC CSL DD wheelbase. Now, it's not perfect, but it has definitely made a big difference in my attempt at the Pikes Peak hill climb. And what I have here is under my control settings, under vibrate and feedback. Vibration is turned on. Self-aligning torque is at 97%. Wheel friction at 115%. Tire friction, 90%. Suspension feel, the effect of the suspension on the wheel as you're feeling it is at 50%. Tire slip is at 70%. That one I need to play with a little bit more. I think it's definitely letting go too easy when your tires let loose. The engine feel, I really didn't want to have a torque steer, so I dropped that to 50%. Collisions are at 100%. I'm sorry, 10%. Collisions at 10%. These things at only maybe 8 Newton meters, but when you hit a tree or a street barrier, you definitely get a good feel in the wheel, a good jerk in the wheel. Soft lock is at 100%, and steering center force is at 0%. I am going to put in the description a link to a video for a friend of mine who has done a good job of explaining what the effects feel like on your wheel in DiRT Rally 2.0, but he explains using the DiRT Rally settings, because in 2.0 they don't give you any of this information here on the screen about what is happening, what you're feeling, what the effects are actually that you're getting in your force feedback. So I'm actually going to put that link in the video, and I really hope that it helps everybody that's taking on this hill climb challenge. Now on my wheel, if you can see, I'm using my setting of number 4, which is not a big deal. It's any setting you want to use. My sensitivity is at 900% rotation. Force feedback is 100%. Force feedback is set to peak also, not too linear, because you really lose a lot of feel and don't dull down the senses in your linear. Between linear and peak, I use peak. Natural damper at 55. Natural friction at 17. I want a little bit extra feel on it because the game doesn't give you a good amount of feedback in the sense of the hardness of turning the steering wheel. It's almost too easy. I forget what that setting is. Natural interpolation 10, and then interpolation, which is how often the wheel set is resetting and telling you what the force feedback is. So if the game's putting out the data at I don't know, so many megahertz per second, it's not really giving you the amount of data you need. Equivalently, this will actually increase the frequency of its kind of telling itself that it's going to give you more than it really is data, so it can properly interpret what's happening in the game on your wheel. I've got mine set to 20. I think it's max. I really wanted to tell the wheel what's happening quite frequently. And then the feel of the suspension is at 70. So that's the settings I used. I definitely could play with a little bit more. They're not perfect, but they worked. It got me a climb to the top of Pikes Peak, 8 minutes 14 seconds. So that's pretty, felt pretty good there. Pretty proud of that. Let me know what you think of my video. Feedback is very well appreciated. Thank you for your time. Have a good evening.